Sunday, it's football time in Houston.
And we're ready to play.
As the Indianapolis Colts make their way here, a little AFC South matchup. Last year, not great for the Texans. Indy beat them by a combined 62-3. One game was 31-0. One game was 31-3. Here's Texans quarterback Davis Mills on this competition with Naptown.
We got a whole new team over here. They have a new coach, new players, new pieces out there. So you got to look back at last year to kind of get some energy, get some, I wouldn't say revenge game, but just hold a little bit of a grudge so you can go out there and play fast on Sunday, but then treat it like it's a new game because every week's different.
Naptown. I didn't know Naptown was a thing.
Yeah, Naptown.
I'd never heard that before.
Indianapolis.
Okay. Makes sense because, I mean,
yes.
you go there, you'd want to take a nap.
It's the most fun thing to do in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Take a nap.
Taking a nap.
In a cornfield, by the way.
Yes, in a cornfield.
Nap in a cornfield. Be specific,
The
guys.
buildings are made of corn stalks.
It's nice and quiet.
Yeah.
That's why everyone in the media
Actually,
likes it so much.
If you've never napped on a farm or in a cornfield as the sun is going down, don't knock it till you try it.
You got to have a good view of the sunset, though. And can you see the sun with all the corn that's rising up into the sky? I don't know. Oh, wait, there's tomatoes, too. My bad.
Yeah, there are tomatoes.
So,
Nightshades.
Are things significantly different from last year?
In Indianapolis?
For this, I would say for this matchup. Because for Indianapolis, obviously, we've talked about it a couple of times over the last few weeks about Matt Ryan versus Carson Wentz. And there's that big piece in The Athletic about the Matt Ryan difference. And you might buy it, you might not buy it. I'm kind of on the fence as far as the actual impact of that arrival has and of Wentz's departure having. But, I mean, Indy smoked them last year. And that was an Indy team that at times was thought to be, at the very least, a dark horse in the AFC. And I think that's the really tricky thing to figure out, is if that Colts team can be unlocked again the way that it was last year. And I think that's why Lance Erline's making them as his Super Bowl pick.
I think it's important to note, I don't want to defend the Texans here, but look, they had a lot of games that were questionable. They arguably played two of their worst games last year against the Colts. Part of that was the Colts winning. Part of that was the Texans kicking themselves in the butt. So I don't know that it's that different of a Texans team. As far as the Colts, you got a new quarterback. You have some of the same pieces, some of the same defensive pieces. This is what I think Texans fans would consider a rivalry. I don't think the Colts view it the same way.
No, it's one-sided.
The Colts
It's never
lead
been a
the
rivalry.
overall series, by the way, 32-9.
Just rub it in, please. Thank
Yeah, there you go. The two teams have met once in the postseason with the Colts
Rolling
winning
my eyes
21-7,
loudly.
2018 wild card round.
9 wins for the Texans seems way more than it should.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it does.
If you would have asked me, I would have said like 40-5.
T.Y. Hilton touchdown receptions against the Texans versus Colts wins against, Texans wins against the Colts. I feel like T.Y. Hilton, I think, has 9 career touchdown receptions against the Texans, probably
It's
more.
one of the only repeating storylines
Jesus.
about the AFC South, because nobody cares about the AFC South every year, is that NRG Stadium is the house that T.Y. built. I mean, they really, Colts fans view it that way.
Just stop.
I'm just being honest. Hey, Brandon Cooks, by the way, is a veteran. He knows a thing or two about T.Y. Hilton. Here's Brandon Cooks on this upcoming matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you don't forget those type of games, right? And at the end of the day, it's a divisional game. You open up, your opener is against a team that, really embarrassed you last year. You don't forget, but at the same time, you don't let that cloud and grade what you got to get done.
You're really just hoping that they will overlook the Texans. And, I mean, is that going to be possible with the way that they overlooked the Jaguars the last week of the year? There's that kind of adding to it, too. And I think that's how these 2 years tie together. Every year is a different year, but, man, it would have been nice if the Colts had made the playoffs last year and perhaps had a little bit more confidence in themselves than the absolute embarrassment that happened at the end of last year. Like, that, I'm looking at that last game and I'm thinking to myself, man, the Colts are going to be pissed and the Texans are going to be figuring themselves out over the course of this game, and that it could get ugly again for a third straight time.
6 starting quarterbacks for the Colts. This will be their 6th in the last 6 years. But they also have not won an opening game in 8 years.
That part is nuts. That is just weird.
Do you have an interest in me reading you these out because some of these
Please,
are wild.
Because I don't want to think about how the Texans are owned by the team that I despise most in the NFL.
So on one hand, you have 32-9 all-time season series. On the other hand, you have what Vanessa's about to
All
do.
right, 2014, the opponent was the Broncos. The Colts lost 31-24. Andrew Luck was under center. 2015, they lost to the Bills week 1, 27-14. Luck under center then too.
Good Bills.
2016, they lost to the Lions.
Ha!
39-35 with Andrew Luck under center.
Fold the franchise.
2017 versus the Rams, week 1. Scott Tolzien under center.
That's a real
46-9. God, I remember that.
Damn,
that
they
was
lost
awful.
by that much. That was the year the Rams made the Super Bowl, right? Was that 17 or 18?
It would have been.
They made it
18. 18.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was.
17. It happened in 17.
No, but the game happened in 2019.
Yeah. Oh, got it.
So
like
this is the Jeff Fisher
That's
rant.
right.
No, I don't think it's the Jeff Fisher.
2018, the Bengals, 34-23. That was Andrew Luck when he was back.
Those weren't good
2019,
yeah.
they lost 30-24 to the Jacoby Brissett led.
yeah.
The Jacoby Brissett led Colts lost 30-24 to the Chargers.
Ooh. Yeah.
2020, this one hurt. They lost to the Jags 27-20. That was Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Was it Phillip Rivers or was it just the Jaguars owning the Texans? Or
And
excuse me,
then
the Colts?
2021, lost to the Seahawks week 1, 28-16, and that was one Carson Wentz. So
Man.
these are not, it's not like they're opening
You hate to
with the
see it.
Patriots every year, like they're opening with the Steelers or historically dominant teams. For whatever reason, week 1, the Texans struggle.
So that's another reason. I'm like, damn, the Colts.
Or the Colts struggle, excuse me.
We keep on mixing up the Colts and
I know.
Texans in this segment. I will say this: the Colts are very unlikely to not show up, based off of that, which I'm sure they've been asked about several times this week. Hey, why do you guys always lose in week 1? And also remembering that they got embarrassed by the Jaguars in week 18 last year. Like, there's no chance that the Colts, I think, show up sleepwalking at this game.
There is a chance because I pulled up their schedule. Week 2, Sunday, September 18th at 12 p.m. They go to Jacksonville to play the Jags. So maybe they're looking ahead. It's a revenge game in week 2. They're already looking past the Texans.
Oh, my God.
They were wearing clown masks, said Jim Irsay. Yeah, they were.
That's their entire season is next week.
Yeah. Who cares about the other games? This is going to be interesting. We don't know if Shaq Leonard, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as Darius Leonard, is going to play. He is a huge part of the Colts. Here's Frank Reich, Colts head coach, on whether or not Shaq Leonard will be in for week 1.
I typically would think, Kevin, that I would need more than 3 practices, but I don't know. Could he practice 3 practices and play 15 plays in a game? Maybe. But I think we're just going to take it day by day. I'm happy with the progress that he's making, but he just needs more action. He just needs more action to gauge exactly what it's going to feel like. He's been cleared so he can do everything he needs to do, but like we said, he's far from 100%, but that's okay. He can play at 80%.
The Colts have been very non-committal on this.
What a weird answer. He's far from 100%, but he can play at 80%. Well, what is 80% of Shaquille, formerly known as Darius Leonard?
If you're the Colts, don't you save him for the playoffs? You have week 1 against the Texans, week 2 against the Jags.
Well, you save them for week 2.
Week 2 against the
Oh,
Jags,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, that is
Gotta
the
have
playoffs,
him
Must-win game.
for the revenge game. Come on. It's about setting the culture. Yeah, that is something that I wonder about with the Colts. At the very least, if Leonard's out, does that give the Texans an edge maybe running the football? Because I think that's how they're going to win games this year.